What's going on, everybody? Welcome. You knew we'd be back before Christmas. We'd be back. We got a little bit to discuss. Plenty to discuss. Really, yeah, man. But this will officially, assuming they don't have some like shocking news between now and Christmas, and you know, then I'd have to be available at that point. But if I'm not, then obviously I wouldn't be live. Say a big time commit out of the portal the next couple of days. It really depends on my availability, but don't plan on doing any more lives until Friday night when Arkansas plays. I don't know. I guess they're playing in a bowl game or something. I don't know. You guys know something about a bowl game? It's on the screen though. So yeah, hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. Check out all the links provided for you down below. We have a poll up. Could Arkansas replace Braylen Russell in the portal? We already have a really interesting comment that I don't know how to feel about this. Feral Hogman, who is a legendary status member, he says everyone is replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. I would argue not all players are the same, but he's not entirely wrong. When you consider Arkansas has actually done pretty good out of the portal when you look at, Jac'Qawn and Jackson last year. And they got him fairly, not late, but, like I want to say it was the end of the month, the end of December in last year. So, yeah, you could go out and get someone probably, I feel like, with more reps, hopefully less injury prone, and more decisive, for the love of God. We'll get to Braylen Russell here in just a second. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, their garage door company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. 501-244-3667. Free estimates. Give them a call. And their link is provided for you down below. We're gonna get started off with Hog Hoops. We're gonna start there before we get into the Braylen Russell. As you can see, he's at the top of the page here, so we will get to him. He'll be next. Much to discuss with Braylen. Arkansas basketball back in the top 25. You'll take that, right? I mean, listen, I don't care. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't care enough about the AP poll. In basketball, it's just, with football, you get 12 games. If you get ranked in the coaches or the AP top 25, it's like oh, wow, cool. It's not like Arkansas has been there very much the last 10 or so, 12 years. But Sam's gotten him in there a couple of times, right? He's gotten him up pretty high. But when it comes to basketball, I don't know, man. We're not even in January yet. And who cares even if it was? The AP is not what people want you to believe that it is. It's just really like respect. And we've talked about that here a number of times. Like, will Arkansas, do they get the benefit of the doubt? And I would argue this is what, I don't know, call me a conspiracy theorist. I think if Eric Musselman were here, even with the same roster, with the same wins and losses, I don't think they would put Arkansas back in the top 25. I really don't. I think this was a Coach Cal thing. I mean, again, with Cal comes that extra brand of recognition. Got to remember, like, their best win so far was on a neutral floor. Even if it was away from Bud Walton Arena, that was a big win. That was a big win in New York. That was a big deal. But still, like, the other two really decent teams you played, you lost. I feel like if that were Eric Musselman, Arkansas wouldn't be given the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. Maybe is that me? Do I need my tinfoil hat? Do I need to replace my Rams beanie with a tinfoil hat? I don't know. I just feel like with Cal, you're going to get that. It's weird to say, but as a program, you're going to get a little bit more respect when you got a Hall of Fame coach, calling the shots, right? That's just me. I don't know. Again, I'm probably a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. The net rankings, Auburn sits at the top, and they are playing for the most part this year, outside their one loss. Now, it was a road game. They're 0-1 on the road, but they're 6-0 on a neutral floor. They've already played 7 quad 1 games, and that's from NCAA.com. That's straight from the horse's mouth. Where else are you going to get quad stuff, right? Where else are you going to talk about that? 6-1 already, man. No one has played that many. UConn has come close. They've played 6. They're 4-2, and they're 16th in the country. They're 4-2. The problem is they are 1-1 in quad 2. And they're also 1-3 on a neutral floor. And UConn, not the team we thought they were going to be. However, they're still 10-3. Plenty of time for UConn. But a boatload of teams. Auburn at 1, Tennessee at 2. Tennessee's played 3 quad 1s. They're undefeated against quad 1s. We know they're undefeated overall, thus their AP ranking. Duke is in there at number 3. Florida's at number 4. And the Zags are at number 5 on the net rankings. Again, we're talking about the net. Arkansas, 47th with a 1-2 neutral floor wins and losses. 1-2 versus quad 1s. You'd love for that to be the opposite, right? 2-1 makes all the difference in the world, especially when it comes to these net rankings. You'd like for that neutral floor. You'd like to be 3-0 or 2-1 on the neutral floor. However, they're undefeated quad 3, quad 4 as expected. Missouri is ranked right ahead of Arkansas. They're 10-2 also. And they are also 1-2 versus quad 1. However, they're 0-1 on a neutral floor. I don't know why they would be ahead of Arkansas. I don't know what I'm missing here. That they've played one more quad 4 game? Like what are we doing? No, I would put Arkansas definitely in front of them. Oklahoma's 12-0. However, their net ranking, it was 38. They actually moved down. They're at 43rd. So the SEC is very well represented when you talk about like that top 50. At this point in the year, considering you're about to go into SEC play, it's here. You got 1 game left, and you're there on the road. And you got to go to Tennessee. Arkansas does. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. In fact, it gets so much harder with this schedule. And it doesn't matter who you are in the SEC unless you're not playing Kentucky, Alabama, or Auburn somehow. Tennessee, and I would even argue Arkansas. Like if you've only got to play like 1 or 2 of those teams, and that's not very many teams. That's nobody, right? Like everyone plays somebody in this league. It feels like, while I've said now for the last 2 or 3 years, SEC's coming down in football. They're coming down. They're coming down. Baseball's always, for me, I think baseball has been the SEC's strongest sport. When you look at whatever metric you want to use, man. I mean, Omaha hosting of regionals and super regional wins, recruiting rankings from Perfect Game or whoever you refer to. SEC just dominates in baseball, period. And now you've added Oklahoma and Texas, who have shown they are capable of getting to Omaha. So now you got 2 more Omaha-capable programs in your conference. My God, this is the mecca of college baseball. However, basketball for the longest time has been on the down. It's been down. It's not been great up until, 2019? Nate Oates. You bring in Eric Musselman. Tennessee and Auburn certainly have done a pretty good job. Florida may not be a big name in the coaching circles, but the caliber or the pedigree of coaching has just increased so much. And with that comes this. It comes high net rankings, multiple teams in the SEC ranked in the top 25 for people who care about that this time of year. I'm telling you shouldn't. And then, unfortunately, the other side of it is you need to see that translate in March, which we just really haven't. Arkansas, for 3 straight years, was the team that went the furthest in the tournament. And that's great for Arkansas, right? Unfortunately, you couldn't do it a 4th year. Musselman's final season, his 5th year, was unable to get across the finish line to make postseason play. Of course, he's on to He's back out west, back home. But then you bring in Cal and Kentucky seems to believe, despite the fact they got smoked. Oh my God. Chef's kiss. Kentucky. Oh, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Oh, so great. They got smoked, fam. They got smoked. Poor Kentucky. Who do they have up next? Who's their last? Hold on. They've got one more non-con, right? They've got Brown. And Ohio State, who, by the way, not very good this year. Well, they got 4 losses on the year. Smokes Kentucky by 20 points, 85-65. You love to see it. Keep in mind, Kentucky also lost to Clemson. Now, to be fair, Clemson's okay. They're not like an elite team. They'll probably be a top 4, top 5 ACC club. They're right now, I think they're 10-2, 10-3. But that's not like, Kentucky fans would have you believing that they're going to whoop everybody, especially after how they beat Duke. The Zags, who they beat by a point. They beat Louisville pretty good. Well, I say pretty good. They beat them 93-85. Yep. They've got Brown, and then they've got Florida at home on the 4th. So, the SEC right now, Florida's 12-0. I did not see that coming. Oklahoma, I did not see going 12-0. I did see Tennessee at least with a loss, but they're 11-0. Auburn 11-1, Georgia 11-1, Ole Miss 11-1. Really wonder how these teams look once the dust kind of settles a little bit in February, going into March. Mississippi State 11-1, Vanderbilt 11-1, Bama, Arkansas, Kentucky, LSU, Mizzou, Texas, A&M. Both Texases are 10-2. South Carolina, right now, getting towards the end of the month of December, is looked at as your worst, like your team that is, they suck. South Carolina, they suck. They're 9-3, dude. They're 9-3. Like, South Carolina fans are like, actually, no, we're all right. We feel okay. I don't know what they're going to do in SEC play. I wouldn't count anybody out. In fact, I really believe there are probably 4 Final Four caliber teams in this conference, if not maybe a 5th. The way they're playing, considering who they've played, considering their record. Obviously, Auburn comes to mind, and, Alabama, despite the fact that to be honest with you, I thought Bama would be 11-1 or undefeated going into conference play, but again, you just never know. That's what's tough about this era of basketball. This hair. There's been a hair floating around, and now it's in my face. Get out of my face. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Do that. Join Discord. The cycle resets on January, the 3rd? Arkansas plays their it's the 3rd because Arkansas plays Tennessee on the 4th. And we reset the day before. So if you want to get in on it, get in on the action, now's the time to join. Get ready. Come get a taste. And then maybe consider joining Patreon and get access to the full Discord. Take the poll. Could Arkansas replace Braylen Russell in the portal? 62% of you say yes. 38% of you say no. Is Russell back in the portal? Mike, I hope that's /Sark. I hope you're being sarcastic there, my friend. By the way, next Monday, we've got a guest coming on the show. He hasn't been on in a couple months. We're going to bring him back on. Excited about that. So, yeah, next Monday. And it's going to be an early show. It's going to be like early. So you'll have all day to watch it if you're unable to be there live. But if you want to be there, get some questions in, you're going to want to be there live. This thing's set at 9:30. So just a heads up. So Arkansas basketball, Boogie Flan's still doing his thing. They crush NC A&T. I did get a couple of messages. Ty, why aren't you live after that? It was, look, man, it was, you knew what was going to happen. I told you guys they should be favored by 29, 30 points. and they win that game 95-67. Oakland, they should take care of. Oakland's better. How much better? I don't know. That'll be on the 30th. Right now, Arkansas's favored at 95.8%. They, when you look at Oakland, I mean, I don't know. We don't necessarily have to do any strict breakdown on this team, but they don't really have any one or two guys that are putting up 18, 19 points a game. They've got a couple of guys that are doing decent in rebounds. A guy whose last name I don't even want to attempt. Tuberu. Oh, my God. Tuberu Neavalarua. I have not watched anything. That sounded pretty good, though. Neavalarua. Tuberu Neavalarua. I think that's it. I think I got it. I think that's it. I've not watched anything on these guys. I've only kind of looked at their numbers. But this dude's averaging near a double-double. He's getting about 11 points, over 7 boards a game. 53% shooter. But, yeah, there's nothing that really, just a quick glance at him, nothing that really sticks out. They're a 29% team from outside. So right there you feel pretty good. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. They can't shoot the three. Yeah, Arkansas is, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about them for a minute, not just what the SEC was doing, but they are. We said they should be riding, and I said this after Miami. No, I'm sorry, after Michigan. They should be riding a 6-game win streak going into SEC play. And you wonder what that does. Does that motivate them? They lost to Baylor, and to be honest with you, that Baylor game was closer than I think we realize. It's not like you got, considering some of these scores, you look what happened to Kentucky, right? We look around the league, even in the SEC, who I would dare say is the top conference in college basketball this year so far, between them and the Big Ten. You've seen some good Big Ten teams. They're either losing consecutive games and they're getting blown out. The same with the Big 12 and some of the more respectable ACC teams. That game should have been probably, when you consider how unhealthy they were, how they were still trying to figure things out. They weren't able to scrimmage. They lost 72-67. I mean, against a team that at the time was considered a possible Final Four contender. Now, way too early, I agree. And then Arkansas does what? They go on another win streak. Yeah, nobody important. Troy, Pacific, Little Rock, MD Eastern. And then they play Illinois, and Illinois, who playing really good ball at the time, they take care of business against Arkansas, beating them by 13. That one's still kind of, I don't know. That it just never felt like Arkansas was, I never felt comfortable in that game. I wonder, Baylor or Illinois, if Arkansas played them instead of Oakland, what that outcome would be. I don't care if it's neutral floor or in Bud Walton Arena, even on the road, even at their places. Would that be different? Would the outcome be different? And I think absolutely yes. This team is starting to come together, and they're doing it without Nelly Davis, who, once again, he's back in a cast. Guys, I don't know what to expect out of him this year. I really don't. I mean, he clearly was either rushed back onto the floor, and he started shooting really well, in terms of just his percentage, his shot selection. And if you gave him time to dribble and then just take a look at the rim and then just deliver, he's probably going to make that. That's like a 50% shot for him, if not higher, out in the perimeter. We started to see it. Okay, maybe we can get 13 points out of him a night. Well, you didn't have him, and even though NC-A&T is not very good, they obviously shot really well, and they did really well. I don't know what to expect out of him this year. I really don't. Is he injury prone? Is the wrist thing going to be a factor? And I know it's already kind of been talked about a little bit, but I kind of wonder if he's a little bit injury prone, and I don't know what to expect out of him this year. Hopefully he's ready to go by the end of January. I don't know, man. For me right now with Nelly, it's like a giant question mark. I have no idea what to expect from him. However, I think they're still capable. Arkansas is still capable. Now their bigs are healthy. We're seeing them run a couple of guys out on the floor at the same time that can crash the boards and play a little bit better and clog up lanes around the post. Starting to see it come together. Remember at the time, after the Miami game, I said, listen, Miami's not very good. I liked what I saw. However, right, there's still some things there worth criticizing, and there were. And I wasn't the only one, right? Even though I had people in the comment section afterwards harp on me about being negative. I got a job to do, man. I don't, I'm going to be as critical and also as positive as the situation calls for, and I think there were some things they need to work out. It feels like they are starting to get these things worked out, whether it's doing a little bit better crashing the boards, trying to rack up more offensive rebounds. We've heard Cal talk about that. They're starting to pick up their shot selection outside. It's getting better. Not as many wasteful shots, like they were doing pre or right around the time they were playing Illinois. They're limiting those things, and they're starting to play a cleaner brand of basketball. And the ball movement, like it opens up so much for these guys. The assists are starting to come up. Yeah, I obviously Arkansas is gaining a little bit of respect. It would help to blow out Oakland. I don't know your odds going into Tennessee and winning that game. Again, with Cal being on your bench, and I would argue even Musselman because, God, fans hated him. Oh, my God, he has to be one of the most hated coaches in the SEC, and it's just so unfortunate he wasn't here longer. I know, you got Cal, you got all these great recruits. You wouldn't get these guys without him, but, I wish he could have stayed a little bit longer, a couple more seasons, just to gain that notoriety even more or build on top of it, being this hated coach, but you still had to respect Arkansas despite what happened last year, right? But beat the hell out of Oakland, go into Tennessee. It's going to be rowdy. Those fans are going to get up for that game. Arkansas's ranked. Tennessee will still be somewhere in the top 3, assuming they don't have a letdown. What a matchup to start off the SEC. Wow. I mean, the 4th is awesome. That whole weekend is going to be really fun. Especially if you're a home team. This is a tough one. We'll talk about that game as we get closer to it. And of course, by then we'll be back on a more normal schedule where I'm streaming a little more. Just join Patreon. It's totally worth joining to get all the insight. Hey, I appreciate that, Ultimate Gaming. Thank you for the shout out, man. Yeah, it's really good. The traffic got so crazy in Patreon, we had to open up because we didn't want to flood out all the good intel, even though we all do it, But we have the lobby, which is open back up, Patreon lobby, and then we have portal names to watch. And we added another name there, Marcus Dummerville. We'll get to that here in a second as well. If I don't, I'm sure I'll forget, but remind me in Discord if you're not a Patreon member. Maybe I'll give you something there. I saw where Musselman had Mr. Beast out to a USC practice. If anything, Muss knows how to promote his team and brand. He will get USC going. I think he will. He is just a I don't know. I think the only thing that could get in his way out there are probably boosters. But man, I mean, imagine you're coaching a game and you've got, members of the Lakers sitting courtside. You've got the Rangers are a real big deal out there. They're going to come to some games. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Hog fan. Merry Christmas, everybody. I got a little Christmas theme going up there. If you look underneath the Tusk Talk, that was all I could think to do. Let's just put you see it? You see it right there? We're a little Christmassy. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Check out all the links provided for you down below. I guess Mike wasn't kidding. He either said that, is Russell back in the portal? So he may not have been sarcastic, or he asked that and then he bolted. I don't know. But at the moment, that's actually a really relevant question. Has he put his name back into the portal? Yeah, so I obviously love Arkansas's odds of going 6-0. If you lose to Oakland, dear God, Cal will never hear the end of it. But yeah, on the 4th, 12 p.m., That is going to be a lot of fun. Who knows, man? Go into that game, make it a ball game. If you win, wow. Okay. Whoa. Right? Then it's like, okay, Arkansas for the natty. They just walked in. I'm presuming they're still going to be the number one team in the country by that point. Who do they have left? Who does Tennessee have left? Oh, they're playing. They got 2 games. They got Mid-Tennessee State, and then they've got Norfolk on the 31st. So they got 2 games left, and they are riding, of course, a very lovely 11-game win streak. Mid-Tennessee's better than expected, right? Isn't that kind of they're 9-3. They're first. Well, I mean, everybody's first right now in the Conference USA. They haven't played any conference games yet. But, yeah, there you go. I'm not going to give out any predictions for Arkansas and Tennessee yet. We'll wait. Right now, Tennessee's favored at 90%. That's disrespect right there. That is mass disrespect. 90% on what used to be known as the BPI, Basketball Power Index. Let's get into Braylen Russell. Now, could Arkansas replace Braylen in the portal? 60% of you say yes. And I kind of already told you what my thoughts are in the situation. However, it's not a given that they would be able to replace somebody like that. Braylen, you think about it, this cat only ran the ball 47 times. 47 times. He pulled that hamstring in that 75-yard run later in the year. But he had 47 carries, 304 yards, 6.5 yards per carry with the 75-yard run, which was the longest run from the line of scrimmage for Arkansas. Again, at 75, that's a long ways. 2 touchdowns. Rodney Hill, who I'm surprised this dude only got 20 carries, but 20 carries, 103 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. Jac'Qawn Jackson, until he got banged up, he led the country for like 2-3 weeks in rushing yards. I think it was. I know it was at the very least. He led the SEC for a while. 5.3 yards a carry is what Jac'Qawn ended up with. 15 rushing touchdowns. Is that not insane? I don't care. Like, let's not sit here and act like Darren McFadden or Felix Jones or Peyton Hillis. Go all the way back to Cedric Cobbs. Don't sit here and act like those guys didn't rack up. They didn't pad some stats against some shitty teams. All right, let's not sit here and act like this isn't an accomplishment. If you think about it, 149 carries with 15 rushing touchdowns, maybe that should be the question. Can they replace someone like Jac'Qawn Jackson? Imagine if that dude had been healthy all year. Imagine if he'd been healthy all year. He's an easy 1,000-yard rusher with probably 20-plus touchdowns. But Braylen Russell, it's mostly about potential with him. He doesn't have the workload for us to really know for a fact that he is or isn't replaceable. I could see both sides of it. I would say it wouldn't be as easy as some people think that it is. Again, they did get Jac'Qawn Jackson the end of December last year, if memory serves. And they've done pretty well. Pittman talked about it today, about how well they did, in the post-spring portal, or how well they've done before in the past. He's not wrong. They've definitely gone out and done pretty well there. So if Russell, for the love of God, plays in the bowl game, I don't know. I mean, poor Rodney Hill, I don't know that he can't carry the workload, right? You're going to have Braylen Russell and Rodney Hill could be an interesting combination. If they get any gaps against a really bad Texas Tech team who is depleted, by the way, their coaching staff, like all the changes they've had, wow. I say depleted. I mean, just from like a coaching standpoint. Player-wise, yeah, Arkansas's got them beat. Way more big names, meaningful snaps in the portal or moving on to the next level for Arkansas. However, Texas Tech is without their starting quarterback, but their backup, according to Stephen Hamner, who has worked with him. That's right. Stephen Hamner, friend of this show, has worked with the Texas Tech backup quarterback. He's done work with this kid, knows a lot about him. If I had time this week, I would try to get him on. If this were like a Saturday game, I would love to set up like a Friday morning show with him, but just don't have time. It's holidays, So going back to Russell here really quick. This guy had 22 carries versus Auburn. I'm sorry, not 22 carries. 9 carries for 22 yards. I thought that was wrong. A&M, 3 carries for 15. Against Tennessee, remember how impactful he was in the Tennessee game? He had 62 yards off 8 carries at 7.8 yards per carry against Tennessee. And you think about how spotty the offensive line was at that time. For him to, off 8 carries, average 7.8 yards a carry, pretty nice. He had a 24-yarder against them, and he had 2 10-plus yard carries against Tennessee. Against LSU, he only carried the ball 3 times for 3 yards. Just a weird situation against LSU. And then Mississippi State happens. He busts off that 75-yard run. He has 16 carries for 175 yards, 10.9 yards per carry. He played 20 snaps in that game, 175 yards. I mean, this dude, and then Ole Miss, he doesn't play much. It was just a weird year for him, with injuries and God knows what else going on behind the scenes. We know when he was in high school, he committed here and then he decommitted and then Tennessee got involved or came into the picture more so. And he switched high schools, which whatever. A lot of kids do that. Nothing against them. I mean, you do want to go to the best place where you feel like maybe you're going to have a better shot at making a bigger impact. I don't know. I don't know what went into that. But he graded out this year 74.5 according to PFF on offense, 77.1 on just the run grade. His fumble grade was 81.9, which in other words means if he did put the ball on the ground, it was during, not meaningful minutes, and he didn't do it a lot. He did put the ball on the ground a lot. He had 9 10-plus yard rushes in a year where he only ran the ball 47 times. So, yeah, we know he's he did sign with Arkansas last year. We saw him, dude's just lower body. I mean, his thighs are like tree trunks, looks the part. Finally, we see it happen this year, and then he goes in the portal, comes out of the portal, goes back in the portal. We have this Mason Choate, Trey Biddy, not really a back and forth. Those two, they're not, they both respect each other. It's nothing but on Twitter, you could see where people were like, oh, well, one of them's right and one of them's wrong. It turned out they were both right. And, of course, Mason posted the tweet or the message from him and Braylen Russell. We've had this back and forth drama. I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's as easy as just we'll go into the portal and we'll replace him. No problem. Yeah. Okay. Except Arkansas has whiffed on. I've got the receipts, son. I've got the receipts. They went after Terrion Stewart, the kid out of Bowling Green, 5'9", 220-pound bowling ball, committed and signed with Virginia Tech. You keep going up here. If I can find him. Ismail Mahdi. Some of you were convinced he was coming here. He's going to be an All-American, blah, 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 blah. 5'9", 180-pound running back. Great PFF numbers, by the way. Great PFF numbers. listen to this, 564 yards after contact. Committed and signed with Arizona. I think he signed. Maybe not signed, but he committed. Darrell Robinson, Connecticut running back, 6'1", 200 pounds. Another guy whose numbers are great. 29 10-plus yard carries out of his 148 rushes in the last 2 years. Commits to Auburn. So, no, I don't think it's as easy as some people have you believe they're just going to go out and find the next Jac'Qawn Jackson. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm not saying that it's impossible or even that it's improbable. Eli Sanders, you remember him, the New Mexico, another running back, 522 yards after contact. 28 10-plus yard carries. Commits to USC. So, And I think some of those were while he was in the portal. It's hard to keep up with. But if you're a running back, Arkansas's got to look like a sweet spot because the running back room is depleted. You don't expect any freshmen to come in and tear the world up. Like you should be able to go out, assuming you have Braylen Russell or you don't, you should be able to go out and get somebody who believes they could beat out a guy who had 40 or so carries last year and didn't exactly light the world on fire outside of a couple of good runs against Tennessee and his performance against a horrible Mississippi State game. Now, I'm not trying to say that what Braylen Russell – I'm not trying to say that what he did was, like, not worth a shit. I'm not saying that at all. He's definitely got a lot of promise. That's something you'd have to – you're going to have to talk with whoever you're visiting or whoever's visiting you. Of course, we got dead period coming up, but you should be able to sit down and say, look, we don't know what to expect out of Braylen one way or another, but we like to run the ball. Bobby Petrino's first year here took an unknown running back from Florida by the name of Michael Smith and rushed him for over 1,000 yards his first year being the head coach at Arkansas. Produced guys like, Ronnie Wingo and Niall Davis, and then just this last year, Jac'Qawn Jackson, looked like a freaking All-American, looked like a possible Heisman candidate if they could have taken care of business against Oklahoma State. And then he got injured. I'm not saying he would have been relaxed. I think he would have at least ran for 1,100 or so yards. But that's what you can do here. And by the way, we got this guy. We like Braylen. We do. Capable. But he hasn't still. We don't know fully what he's capable of. And we don't even know if he's going to be here. So, yeah, hop on in, baby. Hop in the Razorback van here with the little, you guys seen the little buggy around Fayetteville? It looks like a Razorback. I think it belongs to like a dentist office or something. Hop in our little Beetle, Volkswagen Beetle that looks like a Razorback, and let's go run the ball. Let's take care of business. We think we could win with you at running back. Come on down. And yeah, here's NIL, whatever that is. Yeah, I think they can. I think they could upgrade. I just don't think it's as easy because his potential is nice. I mean, there's a lot of upside with Braylen Russell if you can get him to stay and if he can stay healthy. Unfortunately, that's just we've not seen either of those things. I mean, technically he stayed because he took his name out of the portal again. Here's the question. Will he be here for spring camp? I don't know. Yes, you could probably replace him, but it wouldn't shock me if he pulled a Rocket Sanders and he went somewhere and he, did his part. Was a big piece of that offense. Wouldn't shock me at all. So yeah, they have whiffed on so many running backs, guys. I mean, they really have. It's not a given that they're going to go out and get someone. You can argue they may not have haggled the NIL price right with those guys, and maybe they are waiting for that next big back. And nothing would shock me. Nothing would surprise me. I think they could go out and get someone really great. I really do. And I expect them to sign, a really big-time back. They did get Mike Washington. Not wonderful grades, but, he's got 420 career rush attempts in 4 years, 48 10-plus yard rushes. He had 20 10-plus yard rushes last year. Played at Buffalo and then New Mexico State. At New Mexico State, he's never averaged north of 6 yards a carry, but he came close in 21. But he only ran the ball 23 times. He had 5.7 yards per carry. And then as his workload increased, his yards per carry went down. He did have his sophomore season, he had 625 yards on the ground. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield. He has 45 career catches, 244 yards. He has 20 total touchdowns. You like what he brings to the table. But I would still would you take Braylen Russell over Mike Washington? And my answer is yes. I think the question is, whatever they decide to do with Braylen Russell, I think they are going to go get another running back, no matter what they do with Braylen. Could Arkansas replace Braylen Russell in the portal? That number's coming down. 42% of you now say no. Augusta had 373 yards at Colorado this year. This isn't lighting it up. He does have good potential, though, says Adam Reams. Yeah. I was still shocked that he went into the portal. And then you saw where he landed, and it's like, oh, okay. If he wants money, he's got to run, says Angel. Well, of course, I mean, they all want money. Okay, I think they're talking WWE in chat. Anyways, yeah, Braylen Russell, I say do what you need to do to keep him here. I don't know. I'm not saying pay him a ton of money, but within reason, right, do what you need to do to keep him at Arkansas. Because I just don't think it's as easy as people believe, you know. Arkansas did get, my goodness, they're obviously wanting to get something done on the offensive line, and it's so nice to see. But Kavion Broussard out of Ole Miss commits to Arkansas, 6'6", 290. We don't obviously have anything on him. He took a red shirt last year. He visited Arkansas on December 19th. He was a former Miami commit. But, 3-star signed in the 2024 class for Ole Miss. He flipped from Miami to Ole Miss. And now he's at Arkansas. It's a good get. I mean, you're clearly looking to get something done on the offensive line, and it's a very good sign. Caden Kittler was a big get from UCF. And Corey Robinson right now, it's like a coin flip for who my favorite portal guy is. Corey Robinson could be, big dude, could play, multiple positions. He played mostly at left tackle. 1,648 snaps, all at left tackle. But he's got that frame, and in the SEC, you kind of wonder if they don't move him interior. He's 6'5". I've seen some places have him listed at 6'4", maybe even 6'5", and then another place had him at 6'6". So I don't know what his real height is, but he's, according to, I think it was PFF that had him at 6'5", 305. I've come to find that PFF seems to be the most accurate when it comes to size. But they have him at 6'5", 305. In the SEC, that's a interior offensive lineman typically, if not maybe a right tackle. No, I don't know if there's any strings attached with him, like he has to play left tackle or he has to play a certain position or, whatever. I don't know if there's any strings attached. That has happened before. Joshua Braun was one of them. Joshua Braun came with strings attached. He only wanted to play that guard spot. I don't know if that's the case here with Corey Robinson or not, but you're getting him out of Georgia Tech. His PFF grade, really good. His pass block grade is really good. Run block grade, it's so-so. We got all the deets you want on Corey Robinson if you're a Patreon supporter in that Discord. Dropped a video today for Patreon supporters. It's not uploaded on Patreon yet. Right now it's in the Discord. I'll get that uploaded. Well, maybe it did go through. Did it go through? I'm telling you, uploading videos on Patreon through your phone is a nightmare. It sometimes just doesn't go through. Oh, yeah, it went through. Yeah, it was about the wideouts. So, who's next? Who is next to commit? Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Courtney Crutchfield. I'll just say it sounded very promising for a little while, and it seems like everything on him has gone kind of radio silent. Omega Blake's name has come up. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to rip a video, and we're going to play it. We're going to watch his highlights really quick. It's only 2 minutes. 6'2". What does it have him listed there? 6'2", 180.
Right. Rattler looking left, throws, end zone! Touchdown! Empty backfield for Spencer Rattler. He's going to throw from his own goal line, maybe. Now runs up and nice play down the middle, short of the first down, but a good play by Rattler.
The motion looked good on tape.
Again, if you're just joining us, that's Omega Blake, who has played. He was at South Carolina for 3 years, and he played at Charlotte last year. We're going to talk about him. I got some interesting some notes here on him. I'm going to share some, even though this is not Patreon, I'm going to share some info on him.
Thought about throwing it to him, but they go across the middle and said same guy, same result. Omega Blake, first down.
Yeah, Dalen Edwards. Dalen.
We got 31 yards on the ground. Georgia with a blitz. Rattler the quick throw again. Found a big guy out there, Omega Blake. You know, three-man rush. Rattler in his own end zone. Has plenty of time this time and delivers a strike. That one got the first down to Omega Blake. Rattler, deep drop, steps up this time and delivers a strike. It's Blake again on the run. Blake across midfield. Big.
Yards after catch right there. I'm not going to show the whole thing. Let's see if this is the one. Is this the one where he... Yeah, it's just a good check down throw. There's one.
Rattler has all day this time. He's able to deliver to Omega Blake.
Good throw.
Spencer, the pocket's breaking down. Gets out of there. Throws. First down.
Really good on those little check down. Look like check down throws. Just like maybe some drag routes.
Inside the 20. The backfield on a 3rd and 2. Rattler looked over there. Now throws. Middle of the field. Wide open. Omega Blake.
If you notice, so many of his targets are wide open. I mean, he's just, there's no one there. It's a good job, good find by the quarterback, and some good clean route running by Blake.
Inside the 40. Not bothering him, as you see. 2nd and 17. Good throw to Omega Blake. And Blake gets inside the 30 down to the 29. That sets up a third. Rattler rolling. Throwing, caught by Blake, inside the 10, inside the 5.
All right, you kind of get the idea there. I'll tell you what, Rattler throwing on the run like that, not bad. He is someone worth keeping an eye on for sure. He is someone worth keeping an eye on. And maybe they get him to commit. He does have a crystal ball. If I could find it. Oh, here we go. Well. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Hold on. Let me pull that up. I wanted to see what all 247 was saying about him. Okay. Yeah, he has a crystal ball. 3-star in the transfer portal. 3-star in the transfer portal. As a prospect, he was a 3-star. He does have a crystal ball, and it's not from Trey Biddy. It's from Matt Zenitz, who apparently has a very high prediction rate. Someone said that in our Discord. He has Matt Zenitz from 247. He's a national reporter, has a very high prediction rate. Omega Blake should have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years of eligibility, 6'2", 180 pounds, someone who's got a little SEC experience and, got it done at Charlotte. I think it'd be a pretty good addition. He has a good sense for getting open, says Steven 1383. Tuck says McRib is here, baby. All right. Horse Smoke says, watching that was good as Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3. Okay. All right. Great. Cool. Talking some wrestling. So, could he be next? What about Courtney Crutchfield? Listen, I think you do have a pretty fair shot. I think you got a pretty fair shot at landing both these guys. They're obviously must-gets. I'm not totally in love with this class so far. I mean, listen, it's not bad. I realize people are pointing out that it's right now like a top 20 class in the portal. That's great. I see what they're doing along the offensive line. That's also great. I do like the 6'3" safety, Quintavious Scandrett. I like him. Grades out pretty well. Pretty good numbers. Solid across the when you look at all of his numbers. He's played a little bit everywhere in the secondary. David Oak out of Abilene Christian. I don't know. I mean, I know people are skeptical now because Anton Jac'Qawn, who, by the way, under some new rule, might get another year because they consider Albany. So something about JUCO. I don't know. This whole thing just popped this today. But there's some rule now where they're going to give an additional year to JUCO or something, and somehow Anton Jac'Qawn could have another year of eligibility. Great, whatever. But now you could hopefully you were able to keep him at least for depth purposes, right? For the depth chart. And then you bring in someone like David Oak, who's like 6'2", 6'3", 290 pounds. He grades out really well. He had 22. This is what stands out about David Oak: 22 hurries. All as an interior defensive lineman. Most of the time, what are you asking an interior, a big boy, to do in the middle who's playing across the guard or inside the gap between the center and the guard? You're asking him to clog up, take double teams, clog up the gap. Obviously, he was being asked to do a little something extra with 22 hurries. He had 2 sacks. He has 32 career hurries. He's got a motor on him. So, there are bits and pieces to this class. We got a long ways to go. Jaden Platt, who was a former 4-star tight end. Raylan Sharp might be worth keeping an eye on. And, of course, Jac'Qawn McCroy was a really good get out of the portal. It's Tarl. What's up, Tarl? I'm kidding with my chat. We do tend to talk a little wrestling every once in a while. We do tend to talk a little wrestling. The other Mike says, Otis thinks we may finish top 10 if we land who he thinks we can. Yeah, he's not wrong. I know who he's talking about. I have a pretty good idea who he's talking about. And, yeah, it could be a really, really, really good class. It's not just one player. There's like 2 or 3 guys if they can get them to commit and sign, before – just get them to sign. That's all I'm going to say. Get them here. Get them to commit. It could be a really, really strong class. I don't know what the total number will be when the dust settles. And, again, there are pieces to this portal class I really like. And then there's guys I'm just, again, Ken Talley, who I know was a 4-star, I think, out of high school in the 22 class. I don't know. Kind of feels like a – you got Cam Shanks out of UAB. I got question marks with him. He does have nice catch. His percentage is nice. He's caught 69% of his 91 targets. That's pretty good. I mean, you're north of 60% off 90-plus targets or 80-plus targets. That's pretty good. But that was at UAB, and he's 5'8", 180 pounds, guys. I don't know. You're definitely not sending him over the middle, right? Mike Washington, the running back out of New Mexico State. I don't know. I mean, I like that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. All right. Who's next? I don't know. I think it probably we thought it would be we thought it would be one of the receivers, and it was Kevion Broussard today. I did not know he was going to commit today. I did not know that. I knew he was going to announce, but for some reason I thought it wasn't until after Christmas. But hey, 6'6", 290 offensive lineman. I want to say it's going to be one of these receivers, but I don't know. No, Pittman will not be able to coach them. Yes, wrestling. Arkansas and Texas Tech. Is that what's next on our list? It is. That was going to be the other. That was the idea I had for the poll, because we're not doing. I don't think we're going to do anything before that game. Again, I don't plan on doing another stream. I do want to know who you guys like. We'll go ahead and end this poll here. And I'm surprised. 41% of you, that the percentage of no's, little surprising. 41% of you said no, they can't. They can't replace Russell. Again, it's another one of these. It's the polls I struggle to answer myself that I make polls. I'm like, that's going to be a good poll. If I'm struggling with this poll, that's why there's a lot of them where I'm like, man, I might click both. I don't know. That's one. I'm glad that ended up the way it did because I thought 90% of you would say, yeah, they could replace him. 41% of you say no. Does Arkansas – who do you have? Hang on. We got to – let's get this poll up. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Tell me who you got here. New poll posted. Tell me who you got. And then tell me why. If you have whoever you pick, tell me why. I want to know why you have whoever it is. We're going to go over that. It's a no for me, dog. Tell me why, Matt. And it can't just be because Sam Pittman's our head coach. The guy is undefeated in bowl games. I'm just saying. War Smoke says Tesla was underused all year. Pathetic. Steven says, I'm picking Arkansas because Taylon Green and Braylen Russell, hopefully. LOL. He is with the team. We talked about that earlier. Pittman will have them Pittman will have them team up for the game because this is literally his Super Bowl because he lives for mid-bowl games, but we will lose by 10+. Outback Bowl was a pretty nice bowl to get to, and he won that one. Penn State did have a lot of guys opt out. Arkansas had a big one opt out for that one. The Y says Rusty Henry is Bobby Petrino. Okay. I don't know what Farrell's talking about. I think you have players that really love Arkansas and want to play. Farrell, is that you saying that's why you pick Arkansas? What is that coming from? And Boogie Flan for 3 says, I just can't stand Pittman. Is this Hog Blitz? Is that Hog Blitz? Are you Boogie Flan for 3? Are you Hog Blitz? I don't think so. But I kind of wonder. Arkansas versus Texas Tech. Who you got? 76% of you are taking Arkansas right now. Now, let's get into this game a little bit. Hold on. I don't know what's going on with my tabs, but they are crazy. I've got too many tabs opened up. Gotta close them. Okay. Arkansas and Texas Tech, Friday, December 27th, 7 p.m. Now, this list was updated. It could be out of date. And this is, again, we're talking about players that have either opted out or injured or whatever for this game, the Liberty Bowl. This is what's going on with Texas Tech. Texas Tech is going through their own bit of, oh no, right? If you're a fan, you're going, oh crap. You do, and this game is so meaningful, especially for Sam Pittman, because it is the difference between a winning and losing season. You lose it, you go 6-7. I mean, you guys know if you win it, you go 7-6. It is a big deal, at least for Pittman and this staff. And so far, outside of a couple of assistants, you haven't lost anyone major off this staff. However, Texas Tech, the offensive coordinator, Zach Kittley, left to take the head coaching job at FAU. Texas Tech also let go of defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter. Yeah, Texas Tech's defense was atrocious. So you don't know what they're going to do on defense. They're going to have a different guy calling plays. They've had plenty of time to practice to at least, I say plenty of time, not really, but they've had a little bit of time to maybe do something different that Arkansas hasn't seen on film. They are a Big 12 defense. They are bad. They're not good. They're not loaded up with some NFL draft picks. They're not, and even if they were, they wouldn't be there, right? That's what it is today. Texas Tech transfer portal. They lost starting tackle Ty Buchanan, who had 627 snaps. Another tackle, Dalton Merriman, had 488 snaps. He is in the portal. Outside linebacker Harvey Dyson, who I think graded out. I feel like I looked him up, and he'd graded out pretty well on PFF. I may have to go back and look at that. Harvey Dyson, 367 snaps, last played in Week 11. He is in the portal. Defensive tackle, and again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Texas Tech's opt-outs. Wide receiver Jordan Brown, he played 153 snaps. He's in the portal. Jalen Peoples, corner, 135 snaps in the portal. And then Micah Hudson, the wide receiver, 87 snaps, signed with Texas A&M. Morton, the starting quarterback, he's going to have surgery. He will miss the bowl game. Will Hammond, again, who Stephen Hamner from QB Spotlight has worked with and knows a great deal about Will Hammond. He will. He's going to play. He is a freshman. Will Hammond, you never know. These backup quarterbacks, man, they have something to prove. I don't care how old they are. In a bowl game scenario where Arkansas's defense, you're already missing some key pieces. He threw the ball 23 times. He's 15-23 on the year, 65% completion ratio, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, 1 sack. And he ran the ball 12 times for 35 yards. 6'2", 205, freshman out of Austin, Texas. So this will be an interesting, right? This will tell you a little bit for this freshman. Like, is he ready? We know Arkansas has done pretty well against some of these unproven quarterbacks through the regular season. I mean, what's your approach? We're just going to pin our ears back and get in this guy's face? He's number 15. TG is going to eat a lot of rushing yards, says Megan. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that's probably going to be the case. I think you're going to try and run the hell out of the ball. I think you're going to do everything you can to establish the run on Texas Tech. I mean, guys, their defense is already bad enough as it is, and you do have some key pieces back that are capable runners, right? I mean, Rodney Hill, Braylen Russell, Green. You got guys that can run the ball. These Texas Tech gave up 35 points per game. However, they scored 39 points a game, but they lost their coordinator and their starting quarterback for this game. They're 9th in the country in passing yards. They're an effective running team, but not great. They average 161 yards a game. That's good enough for 67th in the country. I think some of these stats, too, you consider some of the teams that have played more games, so naturally you're going to slide down a little bit. I think that's going to be Arkansas's – I think that's what they're going to want to do. I mean, I don't know. I say that. Green showed how comfortable he was in the pocket the second half of the season. He got a little bit better. He still made plenty of mistakes. Again, we're not going to go up and down that list. We all know I think it's very well established how I feel about Green and his inconsistency, how inaccurate he be, and then he's also made some just oh my God throws on the run, just crazy. Unfortunately, seems like about all of them were dropped or whatever, but Green is going to be the X factor in this game, no matter who's on the field. He's going to be the X factor. I don't know if I even want to pick a winner. This is tough because Texas Tech is, when you talk about their coordinators, starting quarterback is out. However, you've got 6 scholarship linemen. I think that's still the case. Just 6 scholarship linemen available for this game in a year when Green was running for his life, whether it be his fault or the offensive line's fault. Let's not sit here and act like the offensive line was the strength of this team when it comes to pass pro. It was not. I don't know, but Texas Tech, they've got a little bit of speed on defense. Let's not sit here and act like they're not capable. Plus, you're talking about a bowl game, right? You're talking about guys that are given some opportunities on defense that want to prove themselves. Guys that were backing up the linebacker who we just mentioned who opted out of the game or who's in the portal. Everyone's got something to prove in this game. And then you think about what they're going to do on defense. They're probably going to do some things they didn't show during the regular season because they got a new guy calling the shots. You got new personnel on the field. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm going to tell you this much. If Green manages to have a good game, hats off to him. Because I don't know who the hell is going to protect the guy that you feel really great about outside of Carmona. I don't know. I would at least like to have Kudus back, but you don't. It is if you're Taylor Green, this is like the nightmare scenario, right? I mean, really in the back of his mind, I'm sure he's not thinking this at all, but maybe somewhere deep in the back of his mind, the part that he's trying to ignore, which he should, you want to have confidence in your guys in front of you. I'm sure there's a part of him that is like, oh my God, who are you throwing the damn ball to? Again, Nichols, Kudus, Josh Braun up front. They're in the portal. Isaiah Centenia, he's in the portal. He signed with Oklahoma. Luke Hasz, he went to Ole Miss. Ty Washington, we know about all that drama. Who the hell are you throwing the ball to? You don't even have Marquise Gums in the mix. You don't have your backup center / guard Amari Wiggins up front. This is a disaster. No Andrew Armstrong, no Ja'Quinn Jackson. All the best parts of your offense are the guys that at least had promise or guys that did show you what they were capable of. None of them are playing. So it's literally Green and a whole bunch of guys around him that didn't get a lot of snaps. I mean, between Russell and Rodney Hill, what is that, 70 carries? Between the two of them? Yeah, I don't know, man. But on the flip side, it's Texas Tech. Their defense is garbage. I don't know. I guess if I got to pick, and again, you don't have the Metcalfs on defense. You don't have you don't even have Rashad Dubinion, right? He's not playing. You don't have him to run the ball, and he looked pretty strong last time we saw him. God, I don't know. This is a tough one. I think it's still 6 scholarship offensive linemen. Good news is you got Cam Ball. Sam Pittman said today that he bragged on Collins, Rhodes, and somebody else on defense. I can't remember off the top of my head. He said he did look strong. He also talked about Shamar Easter playing tight end, playing wide receiver. That is obviously something we want to keep an eye on, is watching Shamar Easter line up. He's not a tight end, guys. I've been telling you this for like 2 years. I've been saying it. He's timid when it comes to I say 2 years, definitely this year. And I kind of thought that, him coming out of high school, I wasn't real sure, even if they put weight on him, if he could play the position. He looks to me like a natural, just big possession wideout who's got a little bit of athleticism. He's actually got quite a bit of athleticism. There's a reason why this kid was highly recruited out of high school. Now he's playing his natural position where he should have been all along. But that then begs the question, how many snaps does he get at wide receiver versus tight end because of how thin you are at tight end and how much inexperience you have there? And by the way, how many snaps does he have this year? Single digits. Well, targets. I should say targets. I'm not sure on his snap count. Not a lot. We know that. So there's so many questions with Arkansas, whereas Texas Tech, yeah, they're starting to mount up some more of those guys. We knew they would. They'd have some more guys that would either portal out or whatever. But then you talk about their coordinator and their defense coordinator getting fired, their offensive coordinator taking the job at FAU. You got a lot of snaps on the offensive line between those two tackles that are not going to be there for Texas Tech. So this is either going to be the ugliest game, high points because neither defense could stop the other, and Green just maybe he has the kind of game we think he's capable of having, or it is just a gross 3 and out, turnover, 3 and out, turnover, maybe a field goal. I don't know. I do like Arkansas because Green is, again, it's if we get the good side of Green, I think you could run away with this game. Because they are missing quite a few snaps on the offensive line. So is Arkansas. And again, point taken. But then you look on defense, Jalen Peoples, who had about 140 snaps. Harvey Dyson, who had 367 snaps. Trevon McAlpine, am I pronouncing that right? He had 284 snaps on the defensive line. They're missing some key pieces, and they're a typical Big 12 defense. And guys like that you're losing out on top of the coordinators. It could be more severe. Head coach, losing your head coach is always like the odds of you winning that game go down a lot. Remember when Reggie Herring had to coach for in place of Houston Nutt? Yeah. Probably could have won that game had you had all hands on deck, but you didn't. It's never pretty, but that's not the case here. They're missing assistants. Arkansas so far, assuming no one pulls a dick move and leaves this week, so far, knock on wood, you haven't lost a major position coach or coordinator. So if everything stays in place, you still have, I like Russell, I like Rodney Hill. I don't know that Shamar Easter is someone who's going to affect the game a lot. I don't know if he's someone who's going to have like a major impact. He could. I mean, he can catch the ball. He's plenty talented. He just was never a tight end. I never liked him there. Should have been taking snaps at wide receiver through practice this year. Maybe he did. I don't know. We didn't get to see it because the media wasn't allowed. Texas Tech has some other injuries. Now, I haven't gotten updates on, but they have starting defensive tackles Braylen Carroll and Quincy Ledette missed the finale. Linebacker Bryce Ramirez, who has over 100 snaps, he hasn't played since week 8. And then starting, I guess he's a starter, Devin Cromwell also didn't play in the final few games. There's a lot of questions for Texas Tech, but, yeah, there's a lot for Arkansas. And then Taj Brooks. Taj Brooks is a potential opt-out. Did he opt out for them officially? Let's look. Let's see. Okay, well, it still says decision pending. Yeah, and then it looks like he is going to play. So Taj Brooks, it looks like is going to play. He's a good player, man. Taj Brooks this year had 1,500 yards. Now, he ran the ball a shit ton, 286 times. He had 17 touchdowns this year. I thought he was going to hit the portal. He may still, or try to declare or something. He may still. We got plenty of time. But I'm assuming they're there, like Arkansas is, in Memphis. And I don't know if he traveled with the team or not. A hint that Taj Brooks might play in Texas Tech's bowl game. According to one Lubbock television reporter, Taj Brooks is listed on the Texas Tech depth chart ahead of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So, yeah, I don't know. And also, if you want the latest, you can always go to Twitter. See what Twitter says. That is a big deal. And that's part of the reason why I'm like, I don't know. If he wasn't playing, I would definitely put my favor onto Arkansas. Taj Brooks officially listed as RB1 on Tech's Liberty Bowl depth chart. Good sign that he'll be out there against Arkansas. That's from Cole Banker, who's he works. He's a TV guy. Oof. Well, I don't know. I may change my pick, guys. I don't know. Arkansas did pretty well against the run this year, but, you weren't nearly as thin on the depth chart as you are now. Mike Vick for head coach. Yeah, he's in coaching. I saw that. Let's hire Mike Vick. A little soon. Y'all see where Mike Vick – that's what y'all were talking about. Never mind. The only lesson I've learned this season is only buy jerseys of players who are graduating. Says Megan. That's pretty funny. Hogzilla 2024 says we will see Braylen Russell run the Petrino wheel route special for at least one touchdown. Wouldn't that be nice to see? Haven't seen that since Wingo. That was Wingo's thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Here come the Mike Vick jokes. All right. That is going to do it. This is likely the last time we're going to talk until after Christmas. So I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Right? Hope everyone has a good time. Drink plenty of eggnog. Put some rum in that bad boy. Oh, you know what? Before we go, hold on. I wanted to look at this really quick. What is Bro Throw on? Has it changed much? Just trying to take a look and see if we've seen anything change. Here's Bro Throw, and these are the bets that are up right now. We're at 194 total bets, and I mean, quite a few accepted bets. So this is Bro Throw. This is peer-to-peer. If you want to take one of these bets, you want to hop on here. If you want an invite, because it is you need an invite to get in. That way it's a little more secure. You don't get people coming in and throwing down bets and then not paying up, right? You don't want that. So it's a little bit closed off. So you need to have a link or a code to get in here. Game starts December 27th, 6 p.m. Here's our spread, -2. There's your money line, your total points, the over-under at 52. I was going to see if that increased a little bit. So the bets right now are sitting at 194 total. 194 total. Here's the over-unders. Here's the money lines right here. So just a good idea. Anyways, if you guys want to join, DM me and I'll send you a code to get in. So there you have it. I'm going to take a look at that before we signed off. All right. I appreciate everybody. We'll be back. Eggnog is good. Eggnog is so good, dude. I've already had probably a gallon worth of eggnog since Thanksgiving. Not even lying. Probably about a gallon of eggnog. No, probably before Thanksgiving, because that's when I buy it, right before Thanksgiving. That's like when it hits the shelves, right? You don't ever see it. It doesn't sell well in the summer, so they don't sell it in the summer. I wonder why. Maybe because it's so damn thick. So good. Once it hits the lips. It's an old school reference. Frank the Tank. All right. Yeah. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Give them a call today or check out their link provided for you down below. Patreon supporters, like John mentioned in chat, it's pretty awesome. Patreon has been amazing. So far, let's end the poll. Wow, we got quite a few votes on there, more than I thought we would. Arkansas versus Texas Tech, who you got? 72% of you. Didn't Bert like eggnog? Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, who doesn't like eggnog? Eggnog is delicious. But there's the poll. 72% of you pick Arkansas. I'm with you. For the moment, I am definitely with you. I might change my mind tomorrow. Nope. Officially, I am in on Arkansas winning this game. Hey, 3 straight bowl wins for Pittman is nice if he can do it. Don't ask me my confidence in my pick, but, you know. We have the prediction up in Discord. Go take it if you haven't already. It looks like someone just did. What's our vote count on that? Are we even – so you got to get to 60 to get that thing to double XP. I don't even think we're at 50. So go get your prediction in, damn it. Go do it. Go help us get to double XP. All right. Again, shout out to Patreon supporters, Discord, join. Shout out to everybody who liked and shared the content. If you're new and you subscribed, a special shout out to you. All right.
Ready, Hook! Uh-oh. No.